Hey guys, this is Katari again here with vVvTime for another how-to video. If you're watching this video after you watch the minigun one, you say, oh my gosh, it's the same video. It is not. This is a slightly different build we're going to see out of the Protoss player in the upper left-hand corner, the red Protoss, Katari. And of course, my co-host here, vVvTime, in the lower left-hand corner is the blue Protoss. Now, Time, you wanted to show it. You showed us against sort of a later 4-gate build from minigun, but here you wanted to show us your 4-gate defense against a very aggressive 4-gate build from Katari.
Yeah, against minigun. Minigun opens with this build that was made by Younghwa, Korean Protoss. It's like an anti-4-gate build. You get 3 really fast stalkers, you chrono boost them out, and basically you basically just try to kill their scouting / proxy pyloning probe and any proxy pylons they build, and try to get like an economic advantage with more probes. Whereas this game, Katari is going to do like a 3 stalker rush and be very aggressive with it. He doesn't chrono boost them out, he just chronos all of it on warp gate, and he gets 4 gates really fast, and he's going to try to kill me.
And if anybody didn't see the last cast, I do suggest you check out the other cast. We talk a little bit about Tal'Darim Altar and sort of this philosophy that you have to 4-gate on it, or Time believes strongly you do not have to 4-gate on this map, and he's going to show you why. In this replay, there are defensive builds that work against it, and basically the crux of this build is you're going to get 2 gates and then a robotics facility pretty quick.
Just 1 gate.
One gate in robotics. Okay, right.
Yeah, you get the first gateway on 12, then you get this assimilator on 14, and then you get another pylon on 15 or 16. It doesn't matter. Then you get the cyber core when the gateway finishes.
Okay, and so for this video, guys, we're going to concentrate more on how to do the build rather than sort of the gameplay. So we're going to look at time a lot. So we have a review. We have a 12 gate and a 14 assimilator.
Yep. So then you get your 15 gate. Or 15 pylon, sorry, or 16. Not a big deal. It doesn't supply block you either way. Then cyber core, and then you get a zealot. And once again, don't spend this 3rd chrono boost or get a 3rd pylon until they've scouted you and their scout has left your base. That way you can pretend you're 4-gating and it scares them. And then you're gonna get a stalker after this zealot. And then when you get 100 gas, you build a robotics facility.
Now, he hasn't scouted you quite yet. Is there any point where you just say, screw it, I have to go ahead and get this 3rd pylon in this robotics facility, or you're just going to wait until that scout comes in?
If the scout doesn't come in, I usually just wait till the stalker is like 75% done. Once you're at 25 supply, building that 21st probe, I think I usually do it.
Okay, we can see that you are using a little bit of chrono boost on the warp gate, but that's sort of part of your build anyways. You're still saving up more chrono boost here on the Nexus, so he's going to think that this could possibly be a 4 gate. So you're not going to use it. You do use some on the Nexus right there, so he's going to see you chrono boosting the Nexus with that probe. Is that a big problem, or is it just not a huge deal?
Yeah, so that's kind of sloppy. This pylon in the back, I think it could be hidden a little bit better, but my plan is just put it far enough back that they might not scout it with their probe. I shouldn't have chrono boosted my Nexus there, though.
So we do see that as soon as the robotics facility goes down, you're throwing down another gateway. You want to put the robotics facility down 100 gas, and another gateway, and then another gateway immediately after that. You can see, because you have this tower, that he's got a stalker and a probe coming down here, which of course screams 4-gate. And you're also going to, I'm not sure if you've scouted his base, you haven't, but you know where his base is. And you can see that he is got these 3 stalkers coming out, so it's a bit of this very aggressive 3 stalker rush. Out of your gateway, we have another zealot producing. And you are using chrono boost. You have a chrono boost saved up right now. Are you going to use that on the immortal, right, as soon as the robotics finishes?
And one thing to note, I'm pulling these units over to the side. That's because I want to engage them with the immortal. And if I have my units at the front, I'm going to engage them before the immortal's out. Whereas if they're back here, it gives me another like 5 seconds to get this immortal out to engage with.
And we can see the gateways are finishing right at this moment. He's throwing down proxy pylons. He's got another round of warp-ins, and the stalkers are coming in, and this is going to be extremely aggressive. He's already coming in here with this probe. He might even try to throw a pylon down on your base. It does look like he's scouting. He sees the robotics facility. The immortal's coming out. He's going to step up here. It doesn't look good right now for you, but as soon as that immortal pops out, it's going to do a lot of damage. You warp 2 zealots and right by his stalkers.
Yep, and there, the immortal went down. I think I only killed 2 stalkers, and I badly wounded another. That's not quite optimal. It would have been better to not lose that immortal, but it's okay.
And we can see that he has 4 stalkers and 3 zealots against only 5 zealots and a stalker, and he's sitting here right by this robo bay. He's supply blocked you as well as soon as this Immortal comes out, although you have another pylon that's about to finish. What's your micro philosophy right now?
And so my micro here, try to get this Immortal on these Stalkers, try to kite my Stalker around so it doesn't die, and use Zealots to tank.
See, another Immortal immediately in production. He is trying to pull his Stalkers back and then put his Zealot forward to get on that Immortal. Pulling back here in the corner, but you warp with these Zealots here on the right side and they get a flank right on top of these Stalkers.
Yep, and I was trying to pull back those weakened Zealots, but I was forced to engage with them. They died. Right now I'm just trying to get as many Immortals out as I can. Once you get like 2 Immortals, it really, really helps.
You can see this, and he's moving up here right on your robotics facility. He's targeting it down, but your Immortal's going to pop out in a second.
Yeah, so right here I also warp an additional Stalker. Having an extra ranged unit helps a little bit against these Stalkers. If they get too many Stalkers when you don't have any ranged units, it's a really bad fight for you, just Stalkers versus Zealots.
We can see that you only have about 23 probes. You haven't made any more probes since you first started attacking.
Yeah, I think I didn't have time to. I built the second assimilator so that I can have a little bit of an advantage once I hold this 4-gate off.
At this point, you got to feel like pretty confident you're going to hold it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm still unable to get like 2 Immortals, which I really want to have to feel really safe. But yeah, at this point, he's really losing a lot of momentum.
You can see the second Immortal is about to pop out here, so he's just relentlessly coming at you here. So all you're doing is you're just going to keep making Immortals and units until. And what's your warping rounds? What are your warping rounds going to look like? At this point, it looks sort of scary because you have 3 Zealots against 5 Stalkers, but then Immortal just changes everything. It does so much damage. What are you warping in here? Are we going to switch to warping in more Stalker heavy composition, or are you just going to keep pumping out Zealots and Immortals?
I mean, basically, you always want to have a decent Zealot advantage, and until you have that, you're going to keep warping in Zealots. But once you have a good Zealot advantage, then you warp in more Stalkers.
You can see you're pulling this Immortal back here, but it does go down. But another Immortal is only about halfway done, and you actually have another Immortal queued up behind it. And he's warping in a lot of units here, but as soon as this Immortal pops out, with it comes the firepower, and he looks like he's delayed just long enough to give you time to get that out. And you do have that Zealot advantage you were talking about.
Yeah, that Zealot advantage really just lets you tank so that your ranged units can actually damage their Stalkers, and your Zealots can win the Zealot on Zealot fight.
So we can see he has not given up. He's continuing to press here. He feels like he's going to break you. You have another Immortal that's a little bit away, but again, you have more Zealots than he does. He does get a couple Zealots hitting on top of your Immortal, but they're going to go down pretty quick. At the same time, you're cutting the Immortal. I noticed that you're making sure to focus the Stalkers with the Immortal and not hit the Zealots with them.
Yeah, that's very important. If the Immortal only hits their Zealots, then it's not cost effective, and you're going to lose.
We can see continuing to use Chrono Boost on the Immortals. He just keeps coming with more and more Stalkers. I don't think you're squeezing a probe in here too. I noticed that.
Yeah, I've been squeezing some probes in. You know, Katari's micro is really good. He's doing a really good job of, you know, keeping pressure on me, but especially once I get these higher probe numbers, it's really not very good for him.
And you could think about, you have really no room to add an extra gate or anything here at any point, do you?
No, and you can't really support 4 gates and a robo. You can hardly support 3 gates and a robo.
So we do see you get some Zealots down here on your Immortal, but at the same time you are focusing down his Stalkers with Zealots up here because his Zealots are too busy killing your Immortal, so that wasn't too bad for you. He's cutting these Stalkers around the back. It looks like he's now going to try and look at your probe count here. And we do see that you take out these Zealots in the back, and he's trying to take out probes down here. I think he has now started probe production again. He's actually doing quite a bit of damage with probe kills down here. He's killed about 5 workers, about to be 6. But he's going to lose these Stalkers in the process. And with doing that, he pulls pretty close to even in the probe lead, and he instantly throws down a Twilight Council. But you got to, with your Robo already down, you're going to feel like you're pretty far ahead here, and an Immortal out on the field. Yeah,
I mean, at this point, I don't know exactly what he has, but he probably doesn't have a second gas. He definitely doesn't have a Robo done. I definitely should have come around from the backside to cut those units off more quickly. I shouldn't have lost as many probes as I did. But at this point, yeah, I'm going to make a bunch of units, and then I'm going to go kill him before I give him enough time to, you know, create some tech that could cause problems.
And you do see getting an Observer out right away, so you're going to have, and you know that there's just no way, he has nothing to kill the Observer, so he can just pretty much move it into his base with Reckless Abandon and not really be too concerned about it. He has a Twilight Council going down. I thought he had a Twilight Council going down. It looks like he may have canceled it. He's instead throwing down a 5th gateway. What do you think of that decision by him?
That's definitely a very strange decision. I think the Twilight Council creates more opportunities for him to use his skill to try to come back. Yeah, with the 5th gateway, like, he can't support that. I'm not sure what's up with that.
It seems like he might just be a little confused right now, and isn't
Probably.
Really sure
He's probably
what to do.
baffled. Like, why isn't my 4-gating winning?
When he has a robo up on Tal'Darim Altar, it's supposed to be an automatic win, right?
Uh-huh.
See, Protoss is imbalanced, even in Protoss versus Protoss, right? That's what a Zerg player would tell you.
Very true.
Just kidding. Oh, and you're going to take out this pylon. It's pretty much going to mean... And he even loses one... Like, he obviously doesn't lose the Stalker, but he doesn't get to warp any down in your base. He does get a bit of a flank around here, but you realize that and quickly pull your units back, so he's not going to be able to do any damage. He's just trying to be cute here. He can't reinforce anymore at this point. You're about to get an Observer in his base, and you guys are just now dancing around the island by the 3rd here, as he's trying... I mean, I guess if he could flank your units and get in your main and kill all your probes or something, he might get back in it, but you're not going to let him do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just playing super safe. I know I'm way ahead. I'm just not trying to give him any chance. And I'm getting Blink here, just to seal the deal.
And we can see that you see in his main, he's just warping in a whole bunch of Zealots. It looks like he just decided to make lots of Zealots off of 5 gates. And then he makes a gas and then cancels it. I really do think he is just pretty baffled right now and has no idea what to do. And you, of course, you go into Blink in production. So if someone beats back a 4-gate with this build, you would suggest continuing Immortal production, get an Observer out, get Blink out, and then just go and kill him. Like, don't even try and expand or anything. Just go and kill him.
Yeah, expanding in this matchup is a really bad idea unless you have like a sick timing where you can expand and hold, and that's really hard to do.
And honestly, if he decides to go for Dark Templar, you have Observers, you're fine. If he decides to go for Stargate, you have Stalkers with Blink, you're fine. If he decides to go for Robo himself, you have 4 Immortals. Even if you got a Colossi, you're fine. So basically, you're safe against anything. If he expands, he's going to die instantly. And now you're just going to have 4 Immortals doing all of that damage. Of course, it does 50 damage against armored units. And of course, Stalkers are armored units. And he leaves the game. No GG. But that's okay, because you did your weird 4A defense build. So let's recap real quick what the build order is here. We're going to do a 12 gate, a 14 gas, a 17 cybernetics core. We're going to use only 1 chrono boost on the Nexus. So we're not going to throw a 3rd pylon down.
Well, you use 1 chrono on the Nexus before the gate, and then 1 right after on 13 supply.
Right after on 13 supply. And we're not going to throw down a 3rd pylon or use any more chrono boosts until we get rid of that scouting probe. And as soon as we get rid of the scouting probe, we throw a robo down on 100 gas, and we use a chrono boost on the Nexus, and the other chrono boosts go down on warp gate, along with a 2nd gateway going down after that. Right? Mm-hmm. And then at 28 supply, we throw down the other... Well, both gateways go down to 28 supply. Yep. So at that point, we cut probes at around 23, 24, and we chrono out Immortals. And how many chrono boosts do we want to use on the warp gate tech total throughout the game?
Let me go and count. And you cut probes at 22 exactly.
22. All right.
I'm going to go count. I think it's 3 on warp gate.
Okay. I mean, they can go watch the replay and figure it out. So we'll call it 3 for now, but we'll go look. And I will post the build order in the description of the video below. So if you like this video, share it with your friends, like it, comment on it. Let us know how you like this how-to video. This is not really a cast. This is more of a teaching video. If there's any other Protoss builds you would like to learn, let us know. I think we're going to try and do a video on how to hold a Roachling all-in against Zerg. And I'm also going to be working with some players from other races that are Grandmaster level or high-level players. So if there's any specific builds from Terran or Zerg that you'd like to see taught, let us know, and I will get a good player to do it and show them to you guys. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Time, so much for taking the time to do this with us. I will resist the urge to make a time pun. And any closing thoughts on this build? What's the if you could give someone one key thought with this build? What is the key thought with this build? Immortals.
I'm not sure. Yeah, Immortals are really strong. Just make sure they don't shoot Zealots. That's really bad. Make sure they don't shoot Zealots. So our key thoughts when we do this build is shoot Stalkers, not Zealots, and don't let Zealots clang on your Immortals, because that's bad too. Yeah. So, all right, thanks, guys. This is Carrick. I'm here with vVvTime, and have a great day.